Hello, everyone. We are live. Welcome to the Show Must Go On line. Today's guest is Nate Lombardi. Nate, how are you doing today?
I am fantastic. How are you, bwaySHO?
Fantastic as well. Thank you so much for joining. You're one of those fun people that I was like, Nate would be good to come on the show.
Thanks. I think you're fun too.
Thank you so much.
That's a nice set you got there. Is that where are you coming from?
Right here. I'm in Washington State.
Hey, okay.
Yeah. So this is my boyfriend's place. I am dog sitting currently because he's over in Alaska. It is a crazy situation here during quarantine.
Whoa. Do you love the dog? What kind of dog is it?
Oh my God. Slim is like my favorite. So our dog is a pit bull mix. We don't know the other because he's a rescue, but he's like the sweetest, nicest, most cuddleable dog that you will ever meet.
Oh my gosh. Me and my girlfriend, we walk around. We're that couple that literally every dog we see, is it a baby? We're that couple. And I grew up with dogs, and she still has an old, like a 15-year-old dog that's on his last legs. He's a little, I don't know, Dachshund or hot dog or Chihuahua, but yeah, but we're kind of encouraging my parents to get another dog because dogs help you live longer and they help your quality of life.
Yes. Yeah. I'm all about that. I'm team dog. I think quarantine would not be nearly as, manageable, you could say, without Slim. He's so sweet. He makes me make sure that I like get up and take him for a walk and feed him, and so it gives me that sense of like responsibility and normalcy. And it's just like having another being here. I mean, especially if you're by yourself, but even with a couple or a family, dogs are the best.
Yeah, well, your boyfriend's in Alaska. That's fun.
Yeah, he's the captain of a salmon boat.
Hey, wow! I want to see that interview.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He's a little more shy than me. I think that's why it works. But except I love seeing the videos of you and your girlfriend. They're so much fun.
She is a riot, man. And she actually changed my life and my whole view of love, which has been really cool. She is all heart, like my mom, and the capacity to love that this woman has is something I've never seen before. She just has so much love to give, and in the Tagalog language, which she's Filipino, they call it giggling. When you love somebody so much, you're gonna giggle them. And so I'm getting this all day long, and now she's playing my 5-year-old niece and my 4-year-old niece and my 7-year-old nephew have fallen in love with her, and it sounds like someone's coming up the stairs that is maybe one of them.
Yay!
Uncle Nate's in an interview. Is that Hazel? Oh, okay. I hear her whispering. It's okay. You can come say hi real quick. Just one hi and then off. Come say hi. Look at this. This is my friend SHO. Come look. Poke your head in. Do you see her?
Hey!
Hi. No, put your head in so she can see you.
We love a surprise guest.
It's all good. Say bye, SHO. Hazel's the light of my life. I love her so much.
Oh.
So we went to the beach about an hour ago or 2 hours ago, and Hazel and Jude, who are in love with my girlfriend, she grabs them both by the hands, or actually they grab her hand, and they skip towards the water. And my sister says, it's like she's Maria Von Trapp. We're a big Sound of Music family. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty accurate. So yeah, she is pursuing comedy. Her name's Cristel De La Rosa. She's pursuing comedy. She's always been really funny. And just recently, she was a professional dancer, so she danced with like Bieber and the guy from 90, I don't know, like some big groups that she's 29, that I don't, oh man, who is the biggest boy band of all time in the like 2010?
One Direction?
Yes. So she danced not for One Direction, but when they broke up, she danced for one of those guys as well, which is
that's
a big
cool.
deal. And now she's pursuing comedy. So she's a riot, and we freestyle together. And she is always looking for material now, and I'm the butt of many jokes, which I love. Yes. So we're always observing. So it's been really fun because as she's studying comedy, and it's really a study, I get to laugh a lot and learn about comedians. I've always loved comedy as well, but it's cool to look at it with a different eye, with a kind of different lens.
Amazing. It does sound like you're taking the most out of quarantine, and I love that.
Yeah. I've been keeping actually really busy. As you will get into, I am kind of an independent contractor, and so during quarantine, I have been taking classes from DC editors, Marvel editors. I've been working with my buddy to grow his business. It's an education business. I've been editing and helping people that work with me edit things from Flint, Michigan. I've been trying to be a good boyfriend. I've been walking every day, listening to books, and trying to do my part with my voice and be as active as possible in the movement. I have been. It's funny. I have been super busy, and I've been in LA for the last 3 months, which is brand new for me. So yeah, how about yourself? Have you been keeping busy?
Yeah, just these interviews have been this nice joy that, I just started it because I thought, well, we're going to be in quarantine for a while, and what better way to connect with people than using my platform, like you're saying, using your voice and getting to know people better, hearing stories, getting to hear the origin story, which we will get into. And I see Get In Projects is here. Hey, SHO and Nate. Hey, Kail.
So Get In. He is one of the most talented rappers that I know, man. That guy and a heart of gold.
Yes. Yeah, he came on the series, and getting to know more about him, he's even helping me. Actually, this is an announcement to make that I'm creating bwaySHO, the podcast.
Hey, that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You must be so proud. I'm really proud of how you took your story of being brave and just taking the chance and going for it and putting all your chips in. It's a beautiful story. And my best friend is a Broadway producer, and she's won a Tony for Spring Awakening, and she's done like 5 or 6 Broadway shows. So if you want to interview her, I can connect you to her. She'll talk about those kind of shows or any other Broadway people. I mean, I've been around New York a long time, so I have a lot of friends. So we can talk about that later.
Thank you. Yeah, that's amazing. And Spring Awakening was one of my favorite shows growing up. So
yeah, just by being her best friend, I got to go to the openings of all of her shows and the Tony Awards. I was at the Tonys when Spring Awakening won all of them. So I was sitting with the cast, and it was like 13 times we all stood up, and it was just really cool to be part of that. And I'm really proud of her. She's working on a show right now. Her name's Jennifer Maloney Prezioso.
Oh yeah.
She's creating a documentary right now in Boston, where she's from, about seniors and what they're doing, that to be continued, in the graduation and their stories. But she's also been working on the show Beaches for a while. And she's done Spring Awakening, and she did Legally Blonde. That was somebody else would wear pink and she did Rock of Ages and Superior Diner and American Idiot.
So many good ones.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. And I feel like this conversation even just speaks to how good you are at lifting other people up, which it really is something to be said about how wonderful you are.
Well, it's very funny. Last year, one of my great friends, Vasti, she's a good friend, an old friend. Her name is Vasti Monpoint. Not that she's old, but we've known each other for almost 20 years now. And she has been in, 6 or 7 Broadway shows. And done really well for herself and had a really rough journey. And there's this one of the most prolific poets and great artists of our time, Daniel Watts, who was in Hamilton and 100 other shows. Daniel, I've met a tremendous amount of people through his shows, and Vosti and I are old friends. And Vosti, I said, when are you doing your own show? You're always telling these great stories, like really great stories, and you're so funny. And she has this optimism that is contagious. And I'm not taking complete credit for it, because she's all the talent, all the stuff. But I was someone that was like, killing it. And then she called Daniel, who is prolific, and asked for some tips. And he, of course, helped her. But she brought like maybe 10 or 12 of her Broadway diva friends to be part of the show, and had a full orchestra at Studio 54 below or whatever. Yeah. And after the show, the three of us were just chilling. And it was one of my happiest moments, because and Daniel went, she's like, thank you so much, Daniel, for this. And, Nate, I would have, maybe never had the bravery to do this. And Daniel said something like, well, hey, something. And I said, well, encouraging people is my superhero power. That's my thing. And, and I've come into that. I've had many versions of careers and many different paths and many different things that I've been interested in. But one thing that I am really confident in is my heart and my generosity. So that I am very generous with. So on stage, I know someone might be able to sing better than me, rap better than me, dance better than me, act better than me. But I am very willing and excited about sharing my heart. So I feel like that is something that I play to my strengths.
Yeah, and having been in your Freestyle Love Supreme Academy with you and Kail, I can 100% attest to that, because you can feel that it starts from the top, and it starts from that open environment. And, even though I am a reporter and I go on camera all the time, freestyling, beatboxing, singing, like that stuff is not necessarily in my wheelhouse. But I never felt like, if I felt like I couldn't necessarily do something in the moment, I didn't think, well, I can't do this. I just can't do this yet, and let me learn how I can do it. And there was that openness to learning that I think really starts with the teachers, right? Because if the teachers kind of make you feel like, well, I can do this, or I've been rapping, or can't you see Jelly Donut and Lin-Manuel and Daveed Diggs? Like, no, you use those as examples of like, these are what people do professionally. We're doing this for fun and to learn. So why don't we go into how you got started? Let's say your origin story.
So when I moved to New York City, well, actually, let's take it a little bit before New York City. At the end of high school, I saw Singing in the Rain, and I saw Gene Kelly, and I thought, what is this guy? Who is he? And the way he was able to bring joy. Leonard Bernstein, when he saw that, said, well, isn't that a reaffirmation of life, watching that? And I thought, well, how do I do that? How do I make people feel the way he made me feel? And he's got a big smile. I got a big smile. I can't dance. I don't know anything about this, but how do I do what he's doing? And then I started learning more about musical theater and the old jazz standards. And I started with Sinatra, as everyone does. And then I got into Tony Bennett. And then I got into Johnny Hartman, Joe Williams, and Ella, and Dinah Shore, Dinah Washington, and all. I got deep into it. The jazz standards, and I love that type of music so much. I've always loved hip hop my whole life. I've been I grew up in the suburbs, but my version of hip hop is different than other people's. But I grew up in the 90s when I think hip hop was, incredible. So I've always loved that, and then to fall in love with the jazz standards. And the reason I love jazz standards so much was because it was a romantic time. It was started in the 20s, but more to the 30s to the 50s. People are going through the Great Depression. People are going to World War. You didn't know if you were going to see someone forever again, because it was that serious. So they would just say, I love you. and they would mean it. And they didn't have email or Twitter or anything to communicate. They had to write letters and call and do things. So it was a very beautiful, simple time. And what the artists did with the war bonds, the Bob Hopes, and what they did with their power really spoke to me. And for me, that era of and you know, it's okay to, I mean, maybe I'm making it seem more romantic than it was, but for me to romanticize how that was really special. So I spent a good couple years back when we got CDs. I got Columbia's greatest hits, and I got all of the singers. Like, I have books of CDs, so I can pretty much, I could pinpoint a singer within maybe one phrase. Oh, that's so and so, because it was just became my thing. And then what I did was I was at Jazz at Lincoln Center, and you're a Broadway person, so I met Stephen Sondheim that night. And then I have a story about that. I have a Stephen Sondheim story. But that night I heard Jazz at Lincoln Center. I was there, and they played Sing, Sing, Sing. And again, I've always been a hip hop fan, so they started with the and they started playing that music, and I thought, wow. So everyone starts like they started throwing people around, Lindy hopping, all that stuff, and I said, but this beat, and I thought, that is amazing. So I was walking home, and I was living in Harlem, in East Harlem, from 2002 or 3 all the way till 2 months ago. And I was walking home, and I was thinking, white boys that live in Harlem, white boys that are cool, white boys that got a little rhythm, white boys that got a little rhythm. Yo, come on strong, it won't miss a beat. You better step aside if you can't stay in the heat. Hit you with the cup from 1935, and just like the Bee Gees, we try to stay alive. Yo, I got rhythm, I got music, I got New York who could ask for more. Here we go. So I started doing that, and I was like, that works. That's an actual fusion. And this is before Hamilton, before In the Heights, before all that. And Lynn had been working on In the Heights for like 7 years from undergrad. So, but this is before it was popular. And I was in a movie at the time, and I played this demo because Juilliard had the first year, they had their jazz program. So with my waitering money, I started paying 3 guys to come, and I'm like, I got this idea. I want to mix jazz and hip hop. They're like, okay, you want to rap over the swing section? I'm like, yes. And I did that. And it was kind of like a Diggable Planets feel, if you remember them. They did that song Cool Like That. So it was a live music, but with rapping and singing and beatbox. And I very quickly, when I was in a movie at that time, I was playing it at a party, and this woman was in the corner. She said, this is a great song. I got to get it. And I said, oh, well, it's my demo. I'm working on this thing. And it was a version of Get Happy. So it was after 9/11 when I wrote How to Be Grateful for What We Have. So it was very like funky version of Get Happy. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, forget your troubles, come on, get happy. You better chase all your cares away. Shout hallelujah, come on, get happy. Get ready for the judgment day. With all the fast-paced lives, concords, perceives and TV. We rush from day to day, not realizing this so easy. Starvation is in Africa and war in the Mideast. Corruption birth the fest and cheap labor while we feast. Now I lay me down, my sleep, I pray my Lord, my soul to keep. When I lay to slumber, count my blessings instead of sheep. If there's a bigger plan, if there's a God divine, I'd like to send a shout out and thank them one sublime. Forget your troubles, come on, get happy. You better chase all your cares away. So I was playing this song with these prolific musicians, just back, and they're killing it. These are geniuses that were getting paid to go to Juilliard, and they made me sound much smarter and better than I was because they were geniuses, but they knew it, which was a pain in the ass. But this lady's like, I got to get this CD, and we became best friends, and that is Jennifer Maloney, who I just told you about.
Yes.
And she was working at As the World Turns at the time, and she's like, do you want to come be on my show? And I was like, I want to be a recording artist. But we both had Norah Jones and Eminem in our CD players. And we were like, that's cool. So we hit it off, and she wrote a movie musical around this fusion of music, and we finished that CD. And the reason we wrote this musical is because we sent it to Adam Epstein, who was he won the Tony for Hairspray, and he said, "This is a musical. What is this? This isn't just a CD." So we quickly got brought into New Line when Elf was going on and Lord of the Rings and all these massive, and they loved it, but they didn't want me in it. They wanted Justin Timberlake in it, which makes sense. And we were like, no, this is his Rocky. This is his Good Will Hunting. And that continued for years, where it wasn't just New Line, but it was the people that discovered Morgan Freeman, the people that were worked for Clint Eastwood, other people that thought, hey, this is a great property. And in retrospect, we could have sold it, and I will sell it now. We're talking about selling it now to let Chance or Drake be in it, or someone like that. But at the time, this was what I had all my eggs in that basket, and I made 4 CDs and 1 EP with professional musicians with this kind of different. Some of it was straight jazz, some of it was jazz and hip hop, some of it was original music. But I was really putting all my eggs into this basket and making myself the best artist I could be. So when they're like, well, can you do this? Yeah, I can play piano and sing. Can you do this? Yeah, I can tap dance. Yeah, I can hip hop dance. Yeah, I can pop and lock. I can do flips. All that stuff. I was training myself. Justin Timberlake and I were having a rivalry. He just never knew about it. And so that was a good part of my life. And I did some acting stuff, just on the periphery. Like, I'd had some small parts on TV, but never really focused on that as I was working on doing my music. And it was tough because the music that I create is not pop music. It's not something that you can go, oh yeah, that's a top hit. So we knew that the music belonged in a movie musical. So it probably will show its face, and you'll see it and be like, oh, he told me about that. Yeah, and at this point, I'm just like, let's get the ball rolling. Let's get in there and get those millions and keep moving.
Let's go.
So so that's the origin story of how I was basically brought to New York and stayed in New York, and then how I got to FLS was a buddy of mine. I've had many jobs in New York. I've done the Groovy Projects for the last 8 years. But to work in schools, you need to get through a lot of red tape. So it's very interesting. It's this catch-22 where they're like, well, if you want to have your own thing as opposed to just work for a company, which I wanted to. The origin of that, bringing it back to Jen, was I feel like you should talk a little bit. Do you want? Should I keep rolling, or?
Please keep on going.
All right. So in around 2012, Jen suggested when Tyler Clemente and a bunch of kids were coming forward with bullying and with the cyberbullying and suicide was starting to become really prevalent. We decided that we wanted to make a music video, and we went to a school upstate in around 2012, 2011, the end of it. And I had been volunteering in Brownsville, Brooklyn, for some time. And Brownsville at the time, it's getting better now, but it was one of the most underserved communities in the country. Yeah. So I was working there because my buddy was a principal, and he said, just come, just do anything with the kids, please. So I volunteered, and I with the third graders, we did the history of Black music. And we went from Billie Holiday to Louis to Ella. But we started I think we started with Drake, and we worked backwards. And Drake loves this person. And then Dre loves this person. So they would see the kind of the lineage of this amazing, because out of this country, what we've given the world, a lot of warships, a lot of culture, but our best things have come from Black culture. You think about rock music, jazz music, R&B, soul music, hip hop, jazz, all of it comes from Black culture. So I was really trying to instill this pride and show them this history, because we are told this white history, and it's really not accurate, and it's unfortunate. So that was the beginning of that. And then in 7th grade, we were doing rap versions of The Pearl, which was a required reading at the time. So this was a long time ago, and a great educator, Lam, who brought me in to do that. So Jen said, why don't we create a music video with one of your arrangements? And that's where I took the song from 1968. I think it's so groovy now that people are finally getting together. I think it's wonderful now that people are finally getting to. And when I wrote it, it was about racism. Awaken a Rev. And then it was, geez, I don't even remember the first verse about it, but then I changed the second verse to be about kids. So they could talk about, it was an empowering verse. So awaken a revolution with your friends, and something's going to change. Victory in the end. Start writing petitions. Expose what's missing and refuse to listen to the hissing all distance. Some of y'all doing great, working hard through school, improving the world. You found kindness was cool. What do you want? Just education? Y'all had a movement with the students of the nation. Boys and girls rising up to change the world. For this to unfurl, gotta dig for your pearl. Not just you, of course, the people that you reach. The strength y'all have, the walls y'all breach. It's right there, y'all. You got all the power, can't stop till you're done. Make use of every hour. You got the key. It's your generation. Changing attitude, a grand realization. Man in the mirror, be proud of what you see. Fascinating world when you live humbly. You got my RESPECT. Thanks for the inspiration you give to me. What's a rainbow without all its colors? What's so special if you're just like the others? Yo, different is cool. Yo, different is unique. Different is the goal that an innovator seek. Need kids everywhere to step up and do the part. Reach out with open hands. Reach out with open hearts. Change happens from laws. Change happens from art. Change happens from us. Hold my hand and let's start. So that was the verse that I wrote to these kids. And and so Jen, she directed this one-shot video. She's won a couple Emmys. And Joe, the guy she brought up, had shot Rihanna the week before at the Super Bowl or something. And these kids were like, so this was at a school where these kids have been expelled from their schools to one school. So 9 different schools sent their last chance kids to this school called a bwaySHO school. So we went up there and we shot it, and the kids really responded. They loved it. And that changed my life. So we did a one-shot. Joe, who had won like 11 Emmys as a Steadicam operator, came up and did this, and it was really fun. And that was kind of my moment of clarity, that Eureka. I was like, aha, I can do what I love and also do something important. And I come from a family of educators and camp counselors. And so for me, when I felt like I had done something important, and that was it. I was hooked. So from that point on, the last 8 years, I've been trying to figure out how to do that even better, and be interested in and focused and fixated on what they love, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or Fortnite or whatever, and go there and then put some spinach on that pizza, right? And try to put a little nutrition in that candy. And make them better, more empathetic global citizens. So at the Groovy Projects, we say we cultivate empathetic global citizens through discussion, the arts, and gaming. So how do we do that? And so it's been a journey in the last 8 years where I have been going to different schools, from Harlem to Far Rockaway to Florida to St. Louis to California to, I think I said Flint, Queens, Bronx, everywhere, and trying to make music videos which they care about, and pull stuff out of them, and give them a safe platform and a safe methodology to do something cool. So I've created, it basically has turned into curriculum, which was, it's good for their soft skills, but it's also good for what they call STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, math. So basically we would watch videos and talk about stuff and then create stuff. So for the older kids, and there was a curriculum from K to 2, then basically 3 to 6, and then 6 to 12. So for 6 to 12, it would start with first world privilege. We'd watch Kanye West videos, Diamonds Are Forever. We'd watch Lupe Fiasco, Kendrick Lamar, and talk about it, how that applies to their life. So first world privilege, then nutrition, then materialism, consumerism. Then we talk about we would go into environment and financial freedom. Then we would go into Black history, women's history, and then women's equity. And then we would get into LGBTQ rights. If that was allowed. Some of the teachers were not cool with that, which is bizarre, but it is what it is. And then we would go into healthy relationships and bullying and things like that. So it's this curriculum, this multimedia curriculum that I brought to some underserved schools, and I was hired as a Groovy Projects by big nonprofits like the Children's Aid Society or Child Center of New York, or the Shop Floor Theater Company is the one that brings me out to Flint, Michigan. So that's what I've been doing for the last 8 years. But the last 2 years, I've stepped away a little bit from going into schools because I want to have more impact and more reach. So Daniel Watts, who I mentioned earlier, he did a verse about Black Lives Matter, which is just genius. Yeah. Something that I could never do. He's so much more talented than me, and just a true leader. Just a true leader and savant in so many ways. He did a verse about Black Lives Matter. And if you haven't, I mean, if anybody's watching this, if you haven't checked Daniel's stuff out on Instagram. Oh, yeah. He's at, on Monday, the 29th, he's going to go BET Live and do his. So you should check that out. Yeah, again, he was the Ike Turner and Tina, and was in Hamilton for a while, and he did a great job. He was in The Last OG, a whole bunch of stuff. But he's a voice that people trust, and he has a beautiful way he's able to navigate really difficult discussions with grace and heart, but also really make you take a look in the mirror. And I've been working in the most underserved communities for a long time, but I haven't been using my voice as much as I should. And Daniel was instrumental just by watching his stuff. I've been a super fan of his for years. I've been now speaking out more. So Daniel did this thing about Black Lives Matter, and we did this thing in Harlem where the kids did it. So what I've created was this system. And Derek Baskin actually came out to Flint with me. Derek is a great guy, cares deeply about education as well. He won or was nominated for the Temptations musical. Yep. Ain't too proud. Yeah. And great guy, super talented. And so he sang a version of Summertime. I'll send it to you. And then Daniel rapped about it. And and then we took Daniel's rap off of it, and then we put the kids rap on it. So that's basically what I've created is a rap competition where we have a celebrity, and the goal is to get Chance Kendrick, Janelle Monáe, Lily Singh, Childish Gambino, Common, those people that are doing really cool things with our platform to rap about these issues, whether it's having your own style, girl power, Black Lives Matter, whatever it is that they're going through. Have them talk about that, and then take them off. So that would be round one. Is we then take the celebrity off and have the kids rap 16 bars on it, and they get judged by alliteration, intonal rhyme, similes, metaphors, hyperbole, and imagery, and they get bonus points for flow and creativity. And that's round one. They just take out their phone, they just hold it up like we're doing right now, and then they do it over a beat. And then round two would be they would then get sent a phone. The top 100 kids will get sent a phone and then brand new phone. Kids are obsessed with phones, and they pick a director friend, a cinematographer friend, a producer friend, and they then go out and they shoot a music video, and they get a micro grant, like $250 or $500 to do whatever they want, and they video that and they send it in, and they have to cut it down to 3 minutes. So do your music video, show what impact you had in your community with that micro grant, and send it in. And that's round two. Round three, we will send a professional crew out to them, the top 10, and say, okay, y'all killed it. Now learn on this professional equipment and tell your story again with these pros. And that's round three. And then round four, the celebrity will look through the top 10 and say, okay, y'all, I love it. Great job. And pick one crew. We bring in that one crew of kids and their mentor, and the celebrity will kind of spend an hour or two mentoring them in the studio. And that's the final prize. So that's what I've been working on for some time, and I have a lot of cool people that are interested in it. I'm looking for the right sponsors, and the right celebrities, and I have a lot of Broadway famous friends, but that doesn't really translate to. And again, not only that, kids that we're looking at, high school kids, have different celebrities than you and I. So they're largely influencers, whether they're TikTok stars or YouTube stars or Disney stars. So you and I might be like, come in, and they might be like, he's 48, you know. So you have to be very aware of what they're into. Yeah. So that's one of the projects I'm working on, because you're only going to get that educational tilt in there if it's super cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been working on that, and then in the last 2 years, because of that and because of what I've been doing, I've been part of this impact community, and that's kind of a broad term for people that care deeply about the world and want to do good to it. So I'm a Nexus Global member and a Summit Series member, and I'm on the board of a couple foundations that have people that are doing what they do. So whether it's food sourcing or cybernetics or the ocean, or I just had one of my mentors today. She had a call about $1 million projects that go into, well, how are we going to save the ocean in an innovative way? Because I'm a founder and someone that's been doing this kind of stuff, I know a lot about a lot of things. No, I know a little about a lot of things, and how you can make a difference. And the thing is, with a lot of these people of impact, they don't know how to communicate that to the large audience. And they don't know how to get their point across. They don't know how to communicate it. They don't know how to get it out. And celebrities are approached in like obsessively by everyone.
Yeah.
So it's hard to work through the noise for those celebrities and focus on what they really care about. So so that's been a part of my world. A big part of my world is the impact community. And so that's where a lot of my time has gone. And I also have spent a lot of time recently in the last year and a half or 2 years on the superhero universe, which is you're a superhero fan?
Oh, look.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, look. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to do an 8-minute interview with you before we're done about your superheroes. Okay?
Yeah. Well, happily. I'll always talk superhero.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right. This is recorded, right?
It's all recording.
Okay, great. Who is your favorite superhero and why?
I always go back and forth between Supergirl and Wonder Woman. They are both very strong female powers. Supergirl is also a journalist, which I really appreciate. And Wonder Woman is like just this badass who sees how men treat her and are like, no, look at the powers I have. This is what I can do. And you're going to listen to me. So I love them both on these same planes.
I love it. Okay, cool. Okay, if you could have one superhero power, what would it be?
Ooh, always a great question. I'd have to say flying, because I feel like I could go travel the world, be at different places more, and you can help people because you can help deliver items to places.
That's great. What is your superhero power now?
Ooh. I would say being passionate. I love Broadway and I love to talk about Broadway. I love to share what people's passions are and make them just as excited as I am about whatever they are excited about and show them that they're not alone.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, how about this? Who in your life is someone that do you think is an everyday superhero?
Ooh, everyday superhero. That's a good question.
Go on.
I'm
just going to pull up the speed round.
Yes. Well, it's funny saying this to someone who like knows him, but I would probably say Lin-Manuel Miranda because he created Hamilton in the Heights, part of SLS, and those are things that really made me realize how passionate I was about Broadway, but also uses that superpower to help Puerto Rico, now speaking up for Black Lives Matter, and is able to use his voice to help other people, and that's what I think a superhero does.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree more. I've met Lin a few times. I mean, he probably would be like, "Oh, yo, hey," but I couldn't agree more with you about that. And I met Lin after, I mean, maybe the second or third time I met him after in the Heights, and I said, "So what are you gonna do now? You've been working on this for, he's like, my whole adult life." Yep. And he's like, I'm gonna keep writing and not put myself in it. I said, that sounds good. 6 years later, Hamilton comes out, right?
Yeah, right.
But really doing the good stuff. Okay, one other question. Who would win in a fight, Marvel or DC?
Gosh, you are just like, it's like, pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
I would have to say DC. They have more superheroes with actual powers. They have Superman and Supergirl and Wonder Woman, so you've got my vote with that. And I do love me some Marvel. Like, I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying that in a fight, I think that DC has the superpower edge.
Okay, I love it. All right, so you hold on a second. I'm gonna pull up the teleporting. Okay. Okay, ready? Give me a second. All right, here is a speed round. Ready?
Okay.
Would you rather fly or teleport?
Fly.
Are you an introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
Good. Would you choose Wolverine or Cyclops?
Ooh. I know this is speed round. Cyclops.
Ooh. Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Batman or Iron Man?
Iron Man.
YouTube or Netflix?
Well, I have a YouTube channel, so I'm going to say YouTube.
Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel?
Love them both, but Wonder Woman.
Super strength or super smart?
Ooh, super smart, because then you can outwit them.
Ooh, favorite illustrator? Are you a comic book fan?
I am. Actually, I'm using comic books right now to help this laptop be raised. Favorite illustrator? I can't think of one right off the top, but I'm reading this Supergirl right now, and it's right here. Hold on, stand by.
Nice. Who is it?
So this is Steve Orlando, Brian Chang, and Matthias Bergara.
Great. All right, cool. What is your passion?
Broadway and connecting with people.
Fantastic. Is there one quirky thing that you can do with your face or impression or beatboxing, rap dance, whatever?
Oh my God. I used to be able to make this cricket sound, and I haven't done it in years. So this could be a complete fail, but let's try it. Okay. Still got it.
Yes. Love it. Great job. That's it. That is it. I love it. Great job.
Thank you.
That's the thing that I'm. So I created a superhero universe, right? And it's called the Unity Force. And the reason I created it was because I was going to the UN a bunch, and thought and when Wonder Woman came out, and when Black Panther came out, kids lost their shit.
Yes.
And I thought, how do we create kick-ass characters that they can have more say in? So, as you know, they're into Minecraft and Pokemon Go and Fortnite, and they expect to be part of the creation process. So that's what I'm working on, is giving, it's kind of like an X-Men, but having them have some type of more impact in the creation of things. So so I've been spending a lot of time on that because I'm trying to create a movement, because there are 2.5 billion gamers in the world, and it's a really cool, engaging way, and it's the future.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been spending a lot of my time on, and I love it. I love waking up every morning with the dream of doing something important, because my why is, I read a lot of books. Well, I listen to a lot of books. Let me correct myself. I listen to, as I jog or walk, I listen to books. And that's kind of my meditative, happy place. And knowing what's coming out, what's already out, and what's coming out technology-wise is crazy. It's crazy. So knowing that, and that we're going to have the capacity to blow each other up very easily and destroy humanity very easily in the future.
Yeah.
How do we create a global community with national pride? How do you do that in a way that they want to be part of it?
Yeah.
And that's what I spend my time thinking about and learning about. And it's a noble mission, and I'm trying, and I'm successfully, not trying, I am surrounding myself with just badasses everywhere that I go. And the SLS Academy is some of them. I just couldn't have more respect for Anthony and Andrew and Chris, and I think they're brilliant guys, super talented, and what they're doing in such a thoughtful way with the FLS, and creating a safe space, a welcoming space, is really cool to be part of, because I have created my own curriculum and dealt with that, and I have been part of, I know a lot of talented people, and the way that they're able to balance this in a such a cool way, I'm learning from them, and I feel that I'm the right fit with this community. And there's no bad attitudes. Everything is with great intention.
Yeah.
So I took the beta class with them. Some guy that I know was going to take it. Actually, I took David's bars at the Public. I was the first.
Yes.
David and Rafael Casal.
Yes.
They had this thing called bars, and they have been best friends for 20 years now, or I don't know, but a long time. And they're great guys, but like just best buddies. That when David got famous, Rafael's like, cool. And they created bars because Rafael had been teaching at, I think, the University of Michigan or Minnesota or Wisconsin or something. So they created this. It was an extension almost of what Hamilton was, where we had to do rap scenes from movies. We recreated a movie scene in a rap, and we performed it. And it was all one shot. So we had 10 of us, 10 scenes in a row, and they did a one shot for the whole thing. I did Good Will Hunting, and actually, one of our students said, "Oh, you were that dude? I love that one." And I was like, I don't know anybody, because I didn't feel great about my performance, because I felt a lot of talented people that were part of it.
Yeah.
And I thought, I should have picked something more exciting and dynamic, but he's like, no, that was like my favorite one. I stick to that one, and I was like, and I was number 9 out of 10, so I couldn't pick up, because if I messed up, we go back to square one. So for me, not having my chops up with everyone else there, well, most people there being professional performers, and me being like, I haven't done this in a decade, it was a lot of pressure, but it was a really cool experience, and got a chance to hang with David and Raf and meet some really talented people. And then I don't know how I heard about FLS, but I had seen FLS back in the day when I first moved to New York.
Yeah.
It's just because I was rapping and stuff, and I just saw them underground. I met once or twice, and I thought it was really cool. And then I took the beta class, and they asked a few of us to teach. And again, like Lou, I can't hold a candle. Lou is just one of the best freestylers walking earth, in my opinion. He can.
Today's his birthday.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and Lou is also an amazing human. But I feel like everyone, all the my crew of instructors I have such high respect for them, and all present instructors. I love them. It's such a cool mix of people. And everyone is cool. Everyone is awesome. So I think that they have succeeded in what they've tried to do and create this community. So again, I'm just really proud to be part of it. And as I get more success and more clout, I will definitely loop them in with whatever I'm doing. And I hope to be part of what their expansion. They have big plans. Anthony is a brilliant businessman with Speechless and what he's done with that, and is using that type of momentum from what he's done with them to grow this as well. So I'm really just pleased and honored to be part of it. And as you know, there's this type of fervor around anything Lin touches.
It's true.
Right? That's true. People go crazy about him for good reason, for great reason. And not only him, but I loved being able to see. I saw the show, probably not as much as you, but I saw it like 4 or 5 times. And I was able to bring my family and to be able to see Anthony and Andrew, just shine. Was really cool. And Shock is just dope, of course.
And Annisa, through the Academy, then went to Broadway.
Annisa. So have you interviewed her? I'm sure you have.
I interviewed her at FLS, and then she's coming on the series closer to the 17th now. We're going to reconnect now that they've re-released the date that We Are Freestyle Love Supreme comes to Hulu.
Yes. Annisa, so how it worked was I took the beta version with Kail and Lou and I'm sure her brilliant improviser. Her name is escaping me. Okay, I took with them, and it was really fun. And then we kind of shadowed Shock and Andrew for some time. So I was a TA with Andrew when Annisa went through. I was his TA.
Wow.
And so I got a chance to see Annisa. And of course, when she came, I mean, what do you teach Annisa? You don't. I mean, we gave her, but it was obvious. You're like, oh, you. Yeah. Okay. Like, it was obvious.
Yeah.
She's just touched like they all are. And it was really cool. She's like, I used to watch him growing up. She's gonna tell you that, and in high school they were mine. So it's really cool, and what a ride for her, and how cool. What an awesome story. And the same thing with Jelly. I mean, Jelly is super talented, and I remember him being like, I don't even know if I'm gonna get like a performance, and he ended up being like the dude that was always there. He probably got more performances than anybody, but Two Touch and Shock, he was there. So I was so happy that he got a chance to really spread his wings and show his stuff, because he's a genius in that way. And again, they couldn't be nicer. And I found that with a lot of the famous people that I know, and not that they're famous, but with the people that are top of their game, you don't really, I haven't met people that are top of their game that have bad attitudes.
Right. Right. Well, and I feel like a lot of these people who I have also been lucky to meet and get to know some of them is that when you're that talented and you're also a good person, it just helps elevate you and everyone around you. And then you want to get better and then you want them to get better. Like, and that's the energy I feel around FLS and the FLS Academy, is that there are these like hyper talented humans who are like, oh, you are also very talented, maybe in a different way, but let's see how we can work together and make you feel better. Like every time I would go to class on Saturday, every time I do the the rap recesses, whether in person or now online, like even if I go in like anxious or, oh, I've had like not the best day, I always leave feeling better. And that's what FLS does.
Yeah, you brought great energy to class. You brought cookies. And I remember one time you came to class and you were like, "Y'all, it was a rough morning, and I'm here." And and me, I love hearing that, and to be able to have you walk out with your head high, that for me, that's my crack. That makes me, and the fact that they have created a curriculum that is very, very specific and intentional about that.
Yeah.
My job there is to be a cheerleader and to open the forum and to hold it. That's it. I'm not there to teach. I'm there to facilitate. And that's a really cool place to be in. Yeah. Because it just allows you to put everything out there with your heart. So when someone comes in with an attitude, it feels so weird. Why are you giving us attitude? Like that's not welcome here. No. And I've only run into that. I've been doing it for maybe almost 2 years, and I've read one woman who had an attitude, and it was just like, I don't even know what to do because it doesn't fit in this. No. In this, like, you don't feel that you're being negative. Like, that's weird. So yeah, and so yeah, you were great. I loved your class. They were really beautiful in so many ways, and people came far. They came far, and that is cool because it's kind of like that butterfly effect. Yeah, I can't wait to read Danielle's book. Right.
Right. Yeah. Everything. And LJ, I had LJ on the series. He's phenomenal. Yeah, it was so cool. And even the graduation day, which I was like, ooh, like this is, and then, like Anthony and Jelly and Shock are there and you're like, cool, this is fine, everything's cool. And then I just felt like the moment we started, it was like, you know what, it doesn't matter. Like, we're just having fun. We're in the same gym that we've always rehearsed in. Like, let's just have fun. And I felt so like open and relieved and inspired after that.
Yeah, it was great. And they're very smart about it. We don't want to say, look, this is how it goes. You're going to be really tight by the end of class, because it always is. Like, we don't want to say that, because then it's putting things in people's heads. We want that to just unfold and not have these preconceived notions that people feel that they need to act a certain way or be a certain way. Yeah. Everyone's journey is the right journey. Yeah. Everyone's journey is the right journey. And it's not about talent. It's about creating a family and a movement and letting people grow and share their voice. Mm-hmm. And again, you don't have to rap. You don't have to rhyme. You just have to be present, invest, and not invent. And that is so cool that they've done that. And I hope that it continues to grow. And now I have a 7-year-old who is a little spaz like I was when I was a kid, my beloved Jude Bear. And I'm like, I wonder if Jude could sit still for a Zoom session with these. I would love for him to be part of it. And I sometimes take it for granted. And, that's the thing. Like, when you have people like Lin and Anthony and Tommy and, Chris and Andrew and all when the people at the top, especially like Lin, Wayne Brady and the most famous people, when they're cool and they're humble, like are you really not going to be humble? Are you really going to have an attitude with these people around you? You know, like that doesn't make sense.
No.
Right. So like, and I've heard that many times, like David Hyde Pierce, when he was part of Curtains, that he like paid for people's salaries for a month, and he was, and that's the beautiful thing about the Broadway community, which I'm not a part of. I've done a bunch of Broadway fundraisers, like big ones, like the Bears and the Gypsy of the Year, which used to be called Easter Bonnet. And I've met a lot of cool people that way, and I've done some off Broadway, but I'm not even part of the Broadway community. I'm almost like a uncle of it, or a cousin of it.
You're the cool uncle of the Broadway community.
I mean, uncles, that's more like Norm, but you know, like Norm is like that's what I think of. I'm like an appreciator of the Broadway community, who happens to know a lot of them. That makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. And it does make me think of like when Chris Jackson's teasing James Monroe Iglehart about his Tony on the Freestyle Love Supreme stage. Like that's the type of energy we have, that they just like, they are very talented and they are big name people, especially in the Broadway community and beyond. And they just give each other a hard time. And I love that. And it's so much fun from the audience. And now I see that our hour is up. You have been so wonderful. I do want to like steal another minute of your time just to trade fours for a few minutes. And then just, you know, any final thoughts. So Nate, why don't you just take it away? We'll be trading these fours or maybe twos today.
Oh, okay. I'm on bwaySHO. I think it was great. I think you want more.
Want more? You better believe when we're here with Freestyle Love Supreme Academy. Yeah, you know I added it because I love what it does to me, to it.
Hey, Freestyle Academy. That is right. You think you rattled me? Oh, I'm gonna keep going. That is right. Gonna keep it going, flowing.
Going, flowing, you better believe, because now we've got bwaySHO, you see, into a podcast. It's not just here streaming live on the YouTube, and it'll be here forever. More, that's the cool thing about technology, you see. Every time we chat, every time we see one another here, it's cool because it'll be forever for years.
Hey, I like what you've done, bwaySHO. I've seen many things. I've watched you grow. I think you got the facts, yo. I think you're doing great. I'm going to tiptoe out of the scene. I'm chilling at the Jersey Show. Yeah, that's right. And this is a free flow. Oh, yeah.
Yes, amazing. Thank you, Nate. That was so much fun. And are there anything you came into today wanting to make sure people hear, and any like specific shout outs for a nonprofit that you would like to make sure that people know about?
Well, you can find me at groovyprojects.com. That's where you can see it's an old website. I need to update it. The Shop Floor Theater Company is who I work with in Flint, Michigan. Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS have supported me for years with some micro grants, and I just love them so much. Tom is a superstar.
Big fan.
The networks that I'm part of, if you have any next generation philanthropists out there, Nexus Global is the community that I'm part of that has next generation philanthropists and social entrepreneurs like me, and the Keep Families Giving Foundation. They are a bunch of young philanthropists that are doing good for the world. So if they need to want to learn more about that, please reach out to me, and I'll give them more information. I also want to shout out to Accent Dance, who I'm on the board of, and they're doing great work in the Bronx right now. Still doing it through COVID. Really great people, great dancers. I mean, if people want to learn more about the impact community, please, I'm happy to share all that I know.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. And here, the show must go online continues throughout quarantine. Tomorrow we have Antoine Magic Ramon. I like to give a little extra a little extra flair. He has a universal swing on Hamilton. What? He's crazy talented. Love Soldier. He is just such a positive light for everything. So I can't wait to chat with him. More Hamilton next week, and then we'll have FLS and more people. You can see everything at bwaySHO.com. That's bwaySHO.com. And if you like what you're seeing, you can subscribe here to bwaySHO YouTube. And I now have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/bwaySHO and become a Showtreon. So that's all for me. I feel like I do need to clarify. I probably would have chosen Wolverine, and now it's been like in my brain, and I need to tell you that because quick fire questions. And I was like, do I tell him now or after we hang up? And I go, no, I think people would appreciate that when you do a quick fire thing and then it just like is in the back of your brain. Do you ever get like that?
Yep, totally. You're awesome. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And Nate, I'll see you soon. We'll see you at the show. Bye, y'all.
See you at the show. Thanks, y'all.